Welcome to another episode of TAAP. We've got a great episode coming up for you, I think. I'm Chad.
I'm Michael.
And today we're going to talk about a bunch of different things, mainly with concealed carry and the time to carry.
Oh, the time to carry. Yeah. That's a loaded question.
Yeah, well, anymore, I think it's always a time to carry, as long as you can legally.
Yeah, and that's a big point we have to make. You have to know the laws in your area. You have to know where you can carry, when you can carry, where you can carry, what places are off limits. Do you have signs in there's always check with your laws because, man, every state's different.
Mm-hmm. And some states are real sticklers on it. There are some states you don't even want to breathe in their direction with a firearm on you.
Yeah, that is true. And that is a good point for if you're traveling.
Yep, and we both love to travel.
Yeah, we do travel a lot. Not only do you have to know the laws in your state, but you have to know the laws of where you're going.
Every state you're going to go through.
Yep. You better pull out that pen and paper and you better start.
Yep.
But luckily there's a couple things that help us, right? What do we use?
We've got the internet now. So and we're not endorsed by this. We don't get anything from them, but what I always do is I always go to the USCCA site. And if you just go to Google and search USCCA, you'll get to their site.
Yeah.
And under their resources, you can get this great little map that is interactive and will tell you based on where you have your permit, where it's reciprocal, where you can carry.
So, just so you know, I'm Nebraska. I have a Nebraska concealed carry permit. Even though we are constitutional carry, I still have a permit. I like that. I like the card. I'm also a big supporter, and not everybody is, of a national concealed carry. Because here's the problem. There are 14 states that I can't carry in. Now, with being in Nebraska, the closest ones to me are Minnesota and Illinois.
Right.
So I kind of avoid those states. But it also includes most of the New York area.
Avoid the Northeast, that Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, that whole Northeast area other than Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire.
And then West Coast.
Yeah, the West Coast. Don't even touch the West Coast.
Yeah. Washington, Oregon, California.
California, as I've heard it referred to.
Yeah, don't go there. Hawaii, well.
Yeah, I guess if you're taking a boat there, if you're sailing there in your own boat.
But I can't carry concealed there, so it's no big deal.
Right.
I go to Alaska and carry.
Yeah, they'll let you carry in Alaska.
However, you might not be able to carry on a cruise ship. I wouldn't recommend that.
No, I've been on cruises. You cannot carry on a cruise ship.
They
will frown on that.
Yeah. Know your laws. Know what you can do. Don't do anything that would get you to lose your rights. Please don't do that.
Yeah, because once you lose them, they're hard to get back.
Yeah. So
and let's talk about some special circumstances. So in Nebraska, we can carry. We can carry open. We can carry concealed. We have constitutional carry, so you don't even need a permit to carry.
Right.
Can a private business keep you from carrying on their property?
See, that's a loaded question. It's still a loaded question to me. No, well, a local business or a private business cannot keep you from carrying a firearm. However, they can kick you off of their property because they have rights too.
Right. So kind of the way that it works is they'll put up a sign that says no firearms.
Yep.
You make your own decision. If they decide that they don't want you on their property because they think you have a firearm or for any other reason and they ask you to leave, you need to leave.
Right.
Because here's what's going to happen if you don't leave. They're going to call the police and have you trespassed.
Correct.
Which can cause other complications down the road.
And if you enjoy going there, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because police have better things to do than to deal with someone and issue trespasses and.
So, and I know that. Now, here's the thing. Mistakes happen. I understand. I've gone into a place and because they had a sign on the door and they propped the door open, I never saw the sign. So I went through and I did my business, and I remember going back there again, and all of a sudden there was a sign. And I remember asking him, like, so when did you put the sign up? They're like, it's always been there. I'm like, oh, I just noticed it. So I didn't carry when I went in there the second time because I do like my rights.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the problem. I'm going to think twice before I go back there. I mean, I'm going to go, if there's another store that sells what they sell that is more friendly to that, I'm sorry, businesses, I disagree with you guys putting up a sign that says no concealed carry permit.
Put up a sign that says no firearms. You're just putting up a big flashing neon sign saying, I'm a soft target.
You're doing that, but what you're also doing is I've gone through all kinds of training. I've gone through, background checks. I've gone through all that. I'm not a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
Ask yourself as a business owner, if you put a sign up that says, please don't rob us, do you think that sign you will never be robbed because you have a sign up? If you do, I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
Yeah. Well, and, going back to the accidentally carrying it in, accidentally on purpose carrying it in, whatever it is, if they call you out on it, just be cool about it. Apologize. Right. A lot of these businesses have a bunch of stickers on their windows.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I'll go take it out, or I'll leave. Let me clear up my tab, whatever it is.
Yeah, don't be a jerk about it. If you're in the wrong, don't double down. Don't do it.
No.
Texas Roadhouse. We have a Texas Roadhouse here, and they have a sign on their door that says, no open carry. Please be responsible. I like that. I like that because here's the thing. A lot of people, when they see a firearm and they're not used to it anymore, when they see that, they're like, and it sometimes makes people uncomfortable. That's a whole nother discussion. We're not going to get into that now. But that sign says, if you're going to carry concealed and you're going to hide it, and do concealed carry, that's great. We don't allow open carry here. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm all good with that.
Right.
So, and that kind of takes us into a topic now we see very similar on a lot of things firearm. This is something that we have a little bit of disagreement on is ways to carry. There's two major ways to carry. You can open carry or you can concealed carry.
Yes.
I am big concealed carry. I'm not so much a fan of open carry.
No, I like concealed carry. I see the purpose, I see the reason, and sometimes I could see carrying concealed, but then I also am a big advocate for open carry.
And, I can't say that I'm not an advocate for open carry. It's just not something that I want to do. My philosophy on it is, you don't know. Am I carrying today? Am I not carrying today?
Right.
Maybe I have 3 of them on me and you can't see any of them.
Well, see, and that's the thing is, just because you see one on my hip doesn't mean I don't have another one concealed somewhere else. Just because I'm open carrying doesn't mean I'm also not concealed carrying.
Right.
Either. So
now, my other thing with open carry is, to me, it's almost an advertisement for someone that thinks they're quicker than the average bear. He's got one on his hip. I can probably run up and grab that before he realizes what's going on because he's a little bit distracted with the kids or with trying to get something down off the shelf at the grocery store or whatever it is.
So that goes by, that's if you carry a pocket knife or anything else there that you have just clipped on your pants, you could have the same argument. If they could see that it's there and they think they could get to it. Or what if you just have a holster with mace in there?
Well, okay, and the holster with mace, typically those have a pretty secure flap over, and you can get secondary securities for your rig that you're carrying your handgun in. Now, you said pocket knife. You're going to get my pocket knife. You're reaching into my pocket pretty much because it sits deep in my pocket.
We're in Nebraska. I see people carrying a knife open on them all the time, especially if you're going hunting, fishing, or something like that.
No, but that you're not so much out in public.
You do are if you're swinging by the Walmart to pick up some stuff, and someone gets kind of froggy in there. Here, if you see someone open carrying, mind your business. And don't play stupid games because you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and the prize is 6 feet under.
Right.
So
and the other thing I would say is, don't walk up to them and what do you got there and ask them 20 questions. They probably don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's the other reason I choose to carry concealed and not open is I don't want to deal with people coming up to me. Oh, what are you carrying and what do you have it loaded with and have you tried this one and.
See, I'm okay with that because that's education.
It is, but there's also a time and place for education.
You're right, and you know, if I'm not in a hurry, if you stop me and I'm open carrying, and you run into me, and you say, "Hey, what's going on?" and I say, "Hey, sorry, I wish I had time. You know, I'm kind of in a hurry. I'm sorry," and I'm going to move on. But if I'm not busy, I'm going to have a conversation with you. We're going to have a cordial conversation. I'm hoping we're going to have a cordial conversation. Yeah. And here's the thing. I'm hoping that 5 people in there that don't know anything about firearms overhear the interaction, understand that it's not the end of the world because there's a gun around. That's the reason I like open carry.
And you know, in a situation like that, I think more often than not, what I do is, you know what, sorry, I don't have time right now. Here's a business card. Give me a call. I'm more than happy to talk to you about it. Maybe we'll have you as a guest.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we can use you for our introduction to firearms to people. My other problem is I don't want the nervous Nancys that are, I can't believe someone's carrying a gun and making a scene about it.
No, I want those. I
don't, because they're just going to piss me off.
And that's where our personalities are different there. I want that because I don't want someone to just freak out because, oh my God, there's a gun. It's not doing anything.
I know it's not doing anything. You know it's not doing anything, but they will freak the fuck out.
I know. But
and now you've got a scene, and now it's manager comes over and says, well, you know, you're causing a disturbance. No, she's causing the disturbance, but you're the one that's going to have to leave.
So you're going to say the same thing with the First Amendment auditors that do that. Standing on the sidewalk?
Well, sidewalk's a little bit different than private property.
Yeah, so if I'm walking down the old market here and I'm on the sidewalk and I have all these nervous Nellies and whatever, they're going to say, oh, I can't believe we're walking around here with a gun. They're going to call the police on me, right?
Oh,
they'll call the police if I'm carrying a camera. A gun is just worse.
Right, but the difference is you're on the sidewalk, you're on private property. If you're open and carrying in a business that's private property, that's where they can say, you know what, because you have a gun that's causing a disturbance, you need to leave.
And then I'll leave.
Right.
Or I'll go out to my car and I'll tell them I put it away and I'll carry concealed and I'm moving. Let's be honest.
Beat the system.
Right. They just said you can't have, you know, people are getting nervous because they see the gun. Okay, I'll remove the gun.
Yeah. I'll remove that one, not the other 3.
Right. Yeah, I left that gun in the car, you know. So,
all right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and this is something we go back and forth on.
We disagree with that, and we're going to have to disagree.
And we don't even necessarily disagree. We just have different views on it. Because I can see the times for open carry, and there's probably going to be times where, and there have been times where I've open carried.
I want that where people start seeing firearms and not just panicking.
Right.
I want it where just because someone has a gun doesn't mean you should assume that they're out for no good.
Well, here's the crazy thing is, you know, to the open carry argument is people say, well, you're open and carrying. Well, you know what? So does every police officer.
Yeah.
And we've probably trained more than your average police officer.
We do. So that's.
And you know, there are a lot of gun enthusiasts out there that they train more than your average police officer because they don't train on firearms as much as you think they do.
Yeah. No shit.
So let's get into some different rigs for carrying.
Are you talking about like how you carry and what you carry?
Different ways to carry. Different positions. So starting with probably the most common, the waistband. So we've got this firearm here. Again, that is our safe direction. It's cleared. The mag is empty. And just to make sure, we'll clear it again. There's nothing in there.
He's not looking for nothing. He is looking for something. Right. Remember that.
Yep. I'm looking to see that there's to see brass in there.
Yep.
And I'm looking and seeing there is no brass. So I'm looking for the brass. So most common is going to be your waistband rig, which is something like this.
Hold on the other camera here. This is what is called an inside the waistband holster. So it's a IWB. So if you see this, it'll be an IWB. So what happens is the belt goes on the outside and this whole thing is on the inside of your pants.
And go ahead and slide that in there so they can see what it'll look like.
I'm just clearing it. Give me 1 second. All right, we're good. See, I always clear it. Yeah, I don't care if someone hands you an unloaded gun, you still clear it yourself every
Even
time.
if you just watch them clear it.
Yep. So that's what it looks like. And then the belt would actually be...
The belt loops go through this. This actually slides over and clamps on the belt loops. And I will tell you that this is one that came with this particular Pew Pew, and it is a very nice rig. It's comfortable. It carries well. It sits in a nice spot.
And I'm going to show you here because this is my rig. This is the one I carry. So this is also a concealed carry rig. So even if I turn it the same way, you kind of see if I could actually literally do this.
Yeah, you've got a universal one there.
So that's the universal. So that's, and if you notice that these are on top. I also have an outside the waistband holster. That's this here. If you notice the difference is these inside the waistband are on the outside. If I turn this over, they're on the, so the belt loop goes on the inside here and the whole rig is on the outside. So this would be for concealed carry. This would be for open carry.
Right. And with the nice thing about these rigs is you can put them in whatever position you prefer.
Yeah.
You can wear these appendix, which is anywhere from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. You think of your waist as a clock.
Right.
You can wear them at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, or if you're left-handed, it'd be 10, 9, 8. One thing I don't recommend personally is wearing at 5, 6, 7.
Again, we disagree on a lot of these carries too. I will carry at 5 or 6 every once in a while. I like to carry concealed. Now, none of the rigs that I have up here is what I carry for SOB. That's called a SOB or a smaller back holster. Generally, the holster that I have back there is going to have a strap on it that actually helps secure the firearm. So I have a few SOB holsters. I do like carrying that way every once in a while, especially if I'm actually going on a long car ride, because I could put it right in the back. I don't have it where the seat belt's rubbing it every once in a while. It's smack back in the back. I don't have to worry about it. So that's another difference that we have.
And my reasoning is, one, I've got some shoulders that are a little bit wonky sometimes. Right. So reaching back behind me isn't as easy as it was when I was younger.
Correct.
2, if you fall and you have a gun on the small of your back, you can hurt yourself. 3, and probably the biggest one, is I don't have eyes in the back of my head.
Yeah.
So if someone's come up behind me, I don't have any way to see them coming up and shift my arms, my body, whatever it is, to make sure that if they tried something, they don't have access to the firearm.
See, it's all situational and it's all personal preference. Everything that we're telling you here is what we're going to tell you what our preferences are. They don't always agree.
Right.
You were talking about like a crotch carry. I will not. You will never ever catch me crotch carry. Ever.
I'll appendix carry sometimes.
Yeah, no. See, he will small a back. I will an appendix. So, and that's okay. That's fine.
And I guess the other reason I don't small a back carry and I prefer something in the appendix to the 3 o'clock range is, if something does happen, my first instinct is not going to be to grab that firearm and pull it out.
Okay.
And it's last resort weapon.
Well, it should always be a last resort. You only enter with deadly force if deadly force is coming at you, which means that person has a weapon.
Right.
And it's any weapon. If they get out of the car because it's road rage and they have a tire iron in there, or a tire knocker, or something that can cause damage to you, well, first, try to drive away.
Right.
If you can't drive away, stay in your car. Don't try to get out. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Now, again, it's situational. If my wife was driving and someone's coming around her side of the car,
you're going to protect her.
I'm going to protect her, so I may get out on the passenger seat and say, hey, you need to back away. I'm not going to let anybody with a weapon get into range.
Right. When you've also now got the vehicle as a blocker for you.
Correct. So there's a lot of things there.
But here's why I like to carry somewhere more in front of me is, let's just say we're out somewhere and someone's being stupid and they start an issue.
Okay.
My first thing is I always, in a nice calm voice, even voice, I don't get heated, my hand's in front of me because right here I can defend anything that they throw at me pretty much.
Right.
But let's just say they take it to the next step and things get physical.
Right.
Again, my first thing is going to be, well, I'm going to pull out my gun and shoot him. That's last resort.
No.
Most fights end up on the ground at some point.
Right.
And let's just say at that point, they decide that they should pull out their pocket knife. Now they have a weapon that they can kill me with.
Yeah.
Now, if I pull out my firearm and shoot them, odds are I'm going to be justified as long as I didn't cause anything to incite that incident leading up to that point.
Right.
Which, again, is why nice, calm voice, hands in a non-threatening position.
Yep.
If I've got that on the small of my back and I'm on my back, I'm not getting to that. Not while I'm trying to fend them off. If I've got it on my 3 o'clock or in my appendix, I can get to that real easy.
See, and that's a whole,
Even with my offhand, I can get to it.
That's going to be that's going to be a whole nother that's a whole nother show as far as if someone's within range or within as close as you and I are with a knife. I think my first reaction would be trying to keep that knife away from me or make some distance.
Right.
And then if I make some distance and they start coming at me, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to have to draw. And now here's what people don't understand. When you draw, you're not drawing to scare them.
Nope.
You're drawing to save their life. You are drawing to stop the target from causing you death or great bodily injury. Okay? That means you are worried that they are going to stab you, kill your kid, kill whoever you're with. There's an immediate threat. If they are walking backwards and they have a knife, they are not an immediate threat, okay? Keep that in mind. Now, they can walk back and they can move forward. So, we're not saying, oh, they backed up, so I got to reholster my firearm. Once it's out, it's out, okay?
You can't unring the bell.
Yeah, you can't. Right, you can't unring the bell. So when it's out there, I'm hoping that person has a quick enough response to say, "Oh shit, this guy has a gun. I brought a knife to a gunfight. I'm getting the hell out of here," and that's what I want.
Right.
Because even when I pull I'm not pulling to point at him and say, please don't do this. I've already said that. I'm pulling out to stop the threat. And you have this motion there. If you stop me, my finger could get on that trigger. And if I see you throw down the knife or you start to back away or you turn to run, any action you do that is disengaging before I pull that trigger is going to probably save your life.
Yeah. And with me, about the only warning you're going to get if it gets to that point is as I'm drawing it and leveling it off,
Stop.
Drop it and back off.
Yeah.
Stop. Yep.
Stop.
I'm giving you commands to stop what you are doing because you have now entered the red zone. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that we're talking about this, and we've gotten off subject a little bit, and we're going to have
not really. I think
we're going to have a whole show about this was more what time to carry and what to carry and how to carry, but a lot of people don't realize human momentum, and it's not like the movies where you shoot someone and they go flying backwards or they fall right down.
All right.
There's the rule of 21 feet.
Right.
If someone is within 21 feet of you with a knife, blunt object, whatever it is, some sort of melee weapon, even if you shoot them, they can still reach you. If they have forward momentum, they can still reach you.
All right.
So let's get back to carrying.
Now, you're also wearing a shoulder rig.
Yes. And this is just firearm here. You have your extra mags that you can stick over on the other side. Most of these are fully reversible, so if you're left-handed. But the nice thing about this, and we're just going to double check to make sure there's nothing there, is most of these are going to have a little strap here that you can snap in. So if you're wearing a jacket, a coat, now I won't wear this in the winter when it's really cold out because I've got my zipper all the way up. I can't get to it easy. I'm going to mess with the zipper, undo the snaps on my coat, and then reach in and grab it. Something like that I'd rather wear on my waist where I can just pull that jacket up some because I don't wear long jackets.
I would prefer a shoulder holster in winter.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I would be more apt to open carry in winter with my coat over it because it's still going to be easier to get to.
Well, yeah, I could do that too, but I would prefer, if I'm going to conceal carry, I prefer a shoulder rig.
Now, what I am going to try this year, and we both ride motorcycle.
We do.
And when I ride, I've got a vest on. I'm going to wear this underneath my vest and see how that works.
Yeah, see, my vest has a concealed carry pocket in it. I've played with it. I've put many different firearms in there just to see how it is. I've actually took it upside and shook it upside down. I've kind of like thrown it around just with a firearm in there just to see what would happen. It's a nice rig.
Yeah, and my vest has one too. I've not messed around with it enough to say that I trust it. The other thing that keeps me from using that is I tend to ride fast sometimes.
Right.
And even if I'm not riding fast, if it's a windy day, that wind is hitting your vest and bouncing it around. I don't want that. I don't want that gun smacking into my side the whole ride. I want something holding it a little bit closer to my body. Which this, when you strap it into your belt, because what it does is it has straps here that you just wrap around your belt. You kind of size it to where your height is, and then it'll hold it nice and snug there.
Now you're wearing this is a full shoulder rig.
Right.
I think one of mine is a slim rig, and a slim rig just has the holster on one side, and there's no.
You don't have the.
I don't have the magazines on the other
the
side.
The extra mags that you can carry.
So this holds two.
Two.
Some you can carry with one. Those are slimmer. I prefer the slim with no extra mags, and that's fine there too.
And you know what, you're doing that. You drop the extra mag in your pocket, and you still have it.
Yep. So let's go back over to the other camera. Let's see what you think about this. So, what do you think about that? That is a ankle holster.
Well.
Let me clear this real quick. All right. I'm empty. Now, here's the problem with ankle holsters. This is not really. See how that's not really designed.
And that's a compact gun.
It's a compact gun, but this is just not designed for a firearm like that. You can get ankle holsters that can carry a gun like that, but generally, this ankle holster, I actually carry a micro pistol. That's what I use for this one. I like carrying this in winter as well, sometimes. I've actually liked carrying this in fall. Fall's the best time I like to carry this rig. Winter, I've done it in winter, but if it's a lot of snow, I don't want it to get wet, and I don't like to do that. So there's that.
Well, if you're carrying ankle holster, that's typically going to be a last resort type position. That's going to be your secondary weapon.
Yeah. Now I have a bigger. This is a inside the waistband holster. That's a huge one. And then, what do you think of this?
That's a belly band.
Yep.
And I'm actually wearing one of those right now.
So this is a belly band. This is. I'm gonna kind of go through just to show you. So there's where it is, and this will just slide in there like that. Now this goes under your pants, under your shirt, and this is going to be against your body. It's elastic, so it stretches.
It essentially goes between your pants and your boxers.
Yep.
Unless you're going rolling commando, and then it's right up against your junk.
Right. So, what do you think about that? What do you think about a belly band?
I'm wearing a belly band right now. I'm split on them. It's not something that I wear often. I'm trying to get more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
If for no other reason than what I'm carrying right now, I don't have a dedicated holster for.
Okay.
And I prefer, when it comes to carrying, I prefer a dedicated holster. This is the holster that actually came with this firearm, so it's made specifically for this. It's got all the molding that features the exact fits. You can get the universal ones.
Yep.
Now those, a lot of the times you can tighten them down some and get a tighter fit.
Yeah, some of them have little screws that you can tighten into.
But I like the fact that this is made for it. I get a nice snug fit. I'm not losing that firearm in there. I mean, it's not going anywhere until I pull it out.
Yeah, and some of these plastics are molded for, most firearms are all going to be about the same anyway. I prefer the universal because I may decide to change, move things. I don't know. I how I feel in the morning and what I pick up in the morning. It's like picking out a tie or shoes or something like that. That's
why I'm well on my way to tote of different specially fitted rigs.
I have a tote upstairs of universal holsters. Now, don't get me wrong. I've carried Glock, and I have the Glock holsters too. But man, here's the problem. Here's how you know if you have a gun guy. Best idea for knowing if there's a gun guy. Ask them how many holsters they have. If they roll their eyes and say, "Oh my God, I don't know," yeah.
I'll tell you, when I was getting some stuff together for this show, I went into one of my drawers that I have a couple of rigs. I found 2 of them I forgot I even had.
Yep.
It's like, oh wow, look this.
That's par for the course. Now, hey ladies, we're going to cover lady carry too.
Yes, we are.
Because they have a bang bra. So there's a little holster that goes right here on their deal.
Now we talked about appendix carry. I am not going to carry something that's pointing at my face.
You can point it down.
Okay, well, you carry it here like this, and
I want to say that the bang holster carries it like across like this, or the one I have for my wife, it actually points down.
Oh, you told me she had to point it up, which
no, hers
okay.
no.
I was gonna no,
that's stupid.
Yeah. What happened? Well, as she was drawing her firearm, it discharged, and then her face went away.
Yeah. So I designed the holster. I made it point down, so it's down. They make the side one too. I prefer the one that goes down. It's a little harder to get to. Don't see, and that's where the personal for the rig that you're carrying, whether you're open carrying or
concealed
carrying. Here's what I would recommend: throw your rig on, throw your gun in there empty. Don't throw it in there at all. Walk around your house. Spend the next go cook breakfast with the holster on. And people look at me and go, well, you wouldn't carry around your gun around your house. Well, yeah, I got to get used to the rig. I got to get comfortable in this, and because if you're not comfortable with it, you're not going to carry it.
Right.
That's the problem.
And well, the other side of that coin is when you get real comfortable with it, even though this is something rubbing up against your body, I've come home and completely forgot I had this on and walked around for half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it was, until I decided to throw some shorts on and be comfortable. I'm like, oh, I forgot to take that off. Well, shit.
Yep. Rigs are very important to get used to, getting where, and you know what? Try different out. You may say, I like this, and then turns around and you're like, yeah, not liking that. It could be plastic. It could be like this one. This one has a leather background. See how this is, this is more flexible. See, I could bend this, and this bends just like that.
Now
this not so much. This isn't going to bend too much.
And that's a good point. It's find what is comfortable for you. And I will tell you, most gun people that I've talked to probably went through 5 to 10 different holsters before they found what they liked, and that can get expensive.
Right.
But again, if it's not comfortable, you're not going to carry.
Right.
So what's the point then?
And I'm sorry, I'm not one of those guys. If you're coming to our channel and you're wanting me to tell you what the best way to carry is, I can't do it.
I'll tell you what's the best for me.
Yeah, I can tell you. Well, the problem is I like all of these carries. So, you're all of them.
Yeah, but my go-to is typically this right here, an inside the waistband that fits nice, somewhere in appendix to 3 o'clock. That is typically what I will run.
Yeah, and it's nice. So,
So there's one thing that we left off, and this one's kind of controversial.
Oh.
And I know you've done it a couple of times. Yes.
Right?
Yep. Save this for last. I know you've done this a couple of times. You've moved away from it again.
Wait, is it legal?
Yeah, it's legal.
Okay, I'm good.
But the pocket carry.
Oh, okay.
The just dropping it in your pocket, whether it's cargo shorts in the pocket there, or sticking it in your front pant pocket.
They make pocket holsters. They do.
Yeah.
Now, this is not being in the pocket. Sorry.
Is that a canic in your pocket, or are you happy to see me?
So, and we vary quite a bit. You're not getting, it's not like me and Chad agree with everything. Chad doesn't like Derringers.
No, I'm not a fan of the Derringer.
He doesn't like revolvers. I do. I like both of those. Generally, if I'm leaving the house, at minimum, I throw a Derringer in my pocket and I move on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, see, and I don't pocket carry. Not a fan of Derringers. I want more than the 2 shots you get in the Derringer.
Sometimes that's all you need.
I believe in volley fire.
Yeah.
No, I'll fire as many out of this as I have to.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have the firepower than not have the firepower, because what if there's 3 of them and your Derringer has 2 rounds?
They might not know that. And I've got a 22 Derringer that's 5. And that's the one that's normally in my pocket. So, yeah. Here's the thing. I could almost guarantee you, if I ever have to go to court because I shot some guy with a Derringer, that is by far so far removed from any kind of assault type weapon you can get to. Because nobody's assaulting anybody with a Derringer, really. And if you are, you're a dumbass. Sorry.
Oh, come on. Pistol whip someone with that Derringer.
It's not big enough.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm better off with brass knuckles, and those are illegal.
You're better off with just your fist.
No shit. All right.
All right, so yeah, those are a lot of the different types of rigs. Are there any other types of rigs you can think of off the top of your head?
Let's see. Ankle, off body.
Yeah, off body, which that we're really going to get into with the female carry mainly.
Yeah, that's off body is.
I'm not a fan of, especially for me. Now
Yeah.
I can see
Well,
why a
you don't
female
want
will
it
carry off
first?
body. Yeah, I'm not going to pull out the man bag.
Yeah,
But no, I can see why a female would carry off body. I'm still not a big fan of it. There are things they can do to protect themselves when they're carrying off body. But I'm not going, unless I'm walking around with a broken down 300 Blackout or something like that I have in my backpack,
Right.
I'm not carrying off body.
I have a rig that comes across that just has a concealed holster in the back. Technically, that would be considered off body because it's in a rig that is not on my body, even though it's a strap I could take off and on.
I would still consider that more on body because you're actually wearing it.
So, but a purse, if the female puts it across there,
Right.
that's the same deal, but that's considered off body.
Well,
Because someone can grab that and move it.
right, and with your rig that you're talking about, that's holding it up against your body as opposed to a purse which can fly around. And
Yeah.
purses, they're called purse snatchers for a reason because people run up, grab the purse, yank, and run.
Yeah. If you're going to off-body carry and you're going to purse carry if you're a female, I understand. I really do. Make sure you get a good rig and make sure that strap has the reinforcement there that it's not going to break.
Yeah. You don't want to take your little cocktail purse and say, well, I'm just going to stick my gun in this, and it's got a strap this big that a good tug is going to break it.
Yeah.
And then wear it cross body.
They have those, like the reinforced cabling inside. That's what I would recommend. Make sure it has that. Some of them have a little lock on there that you can lock on there. I make sure that it has a separate pocket for the firearm, so you're not going in there and you accidentally, your lipstick or your makeup is getting all over it. Make sure you have a good rig.
Yeah.
The bottom line is make sure you're comfortable with it, you know what's going on, and it's easy access for you, not for somebody else, and it goes from there.
Well, and again, what you just said with a separate pocket if you're a female and you're purse carrying. For me, the big reason for that is almost everyone I've ever known throws so much shit in their purse.
Yep.
And then they go to find something. When they open up their purse and they're digging around in it, oops, my finger just hit the trigger and pulled because it was just floating around in my purse. Negligent discharge.
Well,
if you have a separate pocket for it, it's separated from that.
Have a separate pocket, and then it should still technically have a holster that's in there too. So even when I pocket carry, it's not just a firearm thrown in my pocket. It's in a holster, and it's in a holster that's in my pocket, which means the trigger is covered. It's also a Derringer, so before I could shoot it, I have to pull the hammer back. It's not point and shoot by. It is and it isn't. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's each their own. So.
Yeah. And again, I will encourage anyone who wants to carry, especially if you're in a constitutional carry state, you don't have to go get any special permit. Get a rig for your firearm, try it out, walk around the house, and the other thing I've had people say to me is, well, but I'm scared that I might discharge it. Okay, here's how you fix that. Start walking around with it completely empty. No mag, nothing in the chamber,
Yeah.
to get used to the feel.
Yep.
Then maybe load up your mag. Nothing in the chamber. Get used to the feel. Draw it out of there a few times. Get used to where you put your fingers and how everything slides. Then once you're comfortable with it, walk around with it chambered.
That's a whole nother show.
Yes,
though.
it is.
And that's for another day, because carrying it with one in the chamber and then one that's not in the chamber is now another personal choice. That's another show.
Oh, it is.
So
And we're going to talk about that one eventually.
we will.
Because there's a lot of different mindsets on that. And again, it comes down to what you're comfortable with.
That is true. So I think that's
I think that's going to wrap us up.
All right. Make sure you are always safe and make sure you shoot straight.
And we'll see you next time.
And this is yours, so you clean it.
All right.